everyone, it's Libby from Maighstirtarot. Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Yep, matchy. I haven't changed my artwork out for a bit because it didn't appear to be making any difference. So let me know if there's any of the paintings you'd like to see back up again, any of the original artworks. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Entertainment only. I am going to have a yap to you today about my guides, but there's a few other things I want to get out of the way to start with. One of my lovely viewers who I'm in regular email contact with is over in the US at the moment, sort of alternates between the US and Australia. They said, so they've recently arrived back in the US and said you can't cut the tension in the US with a machete at the moment. So, oh goodness me, my heart absolutely goes out to you over there, you guys who are sensitive, who can feel the energies at the moment. The fact that they said you can't even cut it with a machete was quite a statement to make. So please stay safe as things come to a climax. I'm also spent a bit of time on the weekend. Oh gosh, we've got our own maggers here. Make Australia great again. Like really? What bit are you not observing? Oh, and it goes with our orange harpy claiming that that Australia should become a monoculture, and they're all going, and because there was so much backlash against that statement from the Orange Harpy, you've got all her devotees coming out going, oh, they meant, if you come here, you need to become part of what the Australian culture is. And I must admit, I couldn't help myself, and I noticed I have not received a reply in regards to it. I said, well, what? I said, please explain what is Australian culture. Considering our culture is being developed from the Chinese that came out in the 1800s to the coalfields, right through to the Italians that arrived after World War II, up to the Vietnamese and the Lebanese and all others that came in the decades that in between and that followed, and have become, all were despised at the time when they arrived by the likes of the Orange Harpy, but they have all become part of what makes the Australian culture. Not a single reply. Yeah, that's because they can't. And I'm just going to put it out there, the best way to deal with these people who just parrot these rage-baiting one-liners and then try and defend them is to ask them, what do you mean? Or ask them questions where they are forced to articulate what is behind the statement they are making. And you very often find that either they can't because there's no foundation to the statement they're making, or when they start articulating it, they find out how stupid the actual statement sounds when they have to expand on it. So I'm just putting that little bit of advice out there. And as I split the deck and using the Tarot Grand Lux, so thank you, Danny Shea, for putting me onto this deck, we've got this Five of Wands, the infighting, the tearing down, this is very much this MAGA, whether it's America or Australia energy. It is just nothing but hate born from fear. And as soon as you understand that this hate comes from fear of change, fear of others, fear of what they don't understand, fear of the future, fear of dying in the case of certain individuals, fear of being held accountable, fear of losing these materialistic things that they have grasped hold of. And in that particular, these multi-billionaires, parasites who have a fear of losing some of their money. I mean, like, you'll still be a multi-billionaire even if you gave away 90% of it. So, the hatred is based in fear. The fear of being found out to be unworthy, the fear of humiliation, the fear of lack of integrity. Uh, Gina Reinhardt, who's our own version of Fleon, who's now wanting to gift Fleon sensitive islands in the Great Barrier Reef so he can blow rockets up on them. No, never going to happen. But she's our version of him. A fear of being found out to be fake, pretty much. So yeah, this is the energy here, and then we've got the Sun card. Fear of being revealed, but they are being revealed purely by their actions. So, but that's not what I wanted to look at in this particular reading. So 6 minutes of waffle. Let's get started. What I want to have a look at, I'm going to go there. I want to ask why Camp David. Now, what I found really interesting, the felon hates Camp David. He despises Camp David. However, so he's only been there twice, 2 other times. Once during his first term, he went there to do his secret negotiations with the Taliban in regards to pulling out of Afghanistan and leaving Biden with that absolute shocking mess. Like, that's just all on the felon. That was just horrific. And so it was secret discussions with the enemy. So the only other time he's visited prior to this weekend was back in late-ish May, so a month or so ago. Made a rare visit to Camp David. And when did he visit? He visited immediately after he had a 3-hour hospital visit. So I'm talking about a month ago. The felon will hold a cabinet meeting at Camp David after a 3-hour hospital visit on Tuesday. So this is reading it in the Mirror, US. Not the most trustworthy of sites. Apparently, the felon is draining the reflecting pool again, claiming vandals cut the lining. No, they didn't. Iran walks out of the peace talks. I'll have a talk about that in a minute. And the felon's creepy move on Brigitte Macron was totally inappropriate. Well, okay, maybe it's not that bad. But the last time he went to Camp David for a cabinet meeting was a month ago after a 3-hour hospital visit. So why? Why Camp David? Well, apparently Camp David has a pretty well-equipped hospital there. So I want to have a look. Honestly, why Camp David? Because he went there and did nothing. And when I say he did nothing, it's not that he did nothing. He spent half his time on his Untruth social. What was he talking about? Someone's posted it here. It was a stream of increasingly bizarre posts, grievances, etc. What was he saying? Let's have a quick look. He ranted about radical left fools and dumbocrats realise how well we have done in our war against Persia, their country's completely defeated military. Who's he trying to convince? And then he was ranting on about Obama, that they had Persia had zero respect for Obama. Well, I'm pretty sure the Obama agreement was working. And then carrying on about Biden. So Biden and Obama living in his head rent-free. Less than an hour later, he's going on about how dumbocrats like to say Persia is in a stronger position today despite they've been defeated with no Navy or Air Force, and that's why I call them dumbocrats. Like, really, this is, goodness me. But yeah, it was just rant after rant after rant of the same sort of thing, carrying on about the vandalism of his big, beautiful reflecting pool, blah, 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 destroyed the grass. Yeah, yeah, it was just literally 24 hours of ranting. So, his excuse for going there, oh, we'll. As I'm shuffling, and I'm sure you can hear me shuffling, we've got the Tower card, imploding collapse, and the world ending, end of an era. So we were told that he went there to work on the Persian deal. However, all he's pretty much done, if I have a look, the Iranian Persians walked out of the meeting with Shady. After the felon, what did he do? He tweeted or put on his untruth, if you close the strait again, you won't have a country. So he basically threatened them again. They walked out and they said, we ain't talking to Shady. And apparently the discussions are happening via the delegation refused to return to the room. What am I reading? Yahoo News. And talks were being held through messages being traded via the Pakistani and Qatari mediators. And can you blame them? I mean, they have the control. The felons then claiming, what did he post? He posted something about no toll for 60 days, and then after the 60 days, it's going to be paid to the US. If there's going to be a toll or a fee, it's going to be paid to the. No, it's what? Wow, he's just off on. Oh, goodness me. Anyhow, I want to have a look. Why is he really at Camp David? He despises Camp David, hates it with a passion. The last time he went there was after a 3-hour hospital visit. So we know, there's been nothing on his schedule since he got back from the G7 except for a 20-minute, let me lash that medal around the poor guy's neck because he couldn't work out the clasp, and then the plane. Which is the first time the presidential plane has been painted in colours other than the ones chosen by Jackie Kennedy. Now, the reason why they were all continued on in that colour was to symbolise continuity of the presidency and the dignity of the office. But of course, yeah, he's painted it in felon colours. So the colours are wrong. And the gift, it's all about the gifted plane, which has cost around, what was it, $500 million or $1 billion to refurbish. And then apparently they had to buy a second identical plane to train the crew on. And I'm not talking just about the pilots, because I'm also talking about the cabin crew who need to know how. So they needed to fit that out so that they knew exactly where, what, when, and how with the functionality of the entire plane. They also had to create a simulator to train the pilots on as well. So it's not just it wasn't just the refurbishment. There were all these additional extras added on as well. But my question is, so come on down, let's have a look. Why is he really at Camp David? And look what's on the bottom. The death card. Wow. I'm not saying he is snuffed it, fallen off the twig, wrong side of the grass, but he's getting very close. And we are talking about underway, there is regime change underway. But why was he really there? The Two of Coins, something to do with his declining health. A passing of the baton, perhaps, passing on. I mean, he's always about the money, But this is weighing in the balance, weighing his health, something to do with his health. Pentacles can mean wealth, they can mean opportunities, they can mean integrity, they can mean, for me, when I'm talking about certain elements, they can mean VOTESs, but it's also health. Why was he there? Because his health is in the balance, tipping back and forth. And the challenge for him is he's at the end. The 10th, so we've got the 6 of Pentacles, the weighing in the balance, and then the 10 of Pentacles, the ending. The last coin being dropped into the jar. He's so close to the end. Shady's out of the country. Now, I read on this weeks ago when Shady, I think, went to Pakistan, that there would be a potential regime change when Shady was out of the country. He's now in Switzerland. Rubio's still there. But the challenge for him is really the ending, the last coin dropping in. Foundation, we've got the 2 of Swords. The truth can no longer be hidden. I gather he's returning to DC tonight. Nothing on his schedule for today or tomorrow. Was nothing on his schedule yesterday. Considering the state of the nation. But this is the 2 of Swords. The initial 2 of Swords is trying to block something, a decision that needs to be made. But this particular, the swords are uncrossed and the veil is thinning. The veil of truth, the veil of decision, the point of decision is coming. This is also swords of strategy as well, being seen. Okay, so why is he really at Camp David? In the past, we've got the Empress, the nurturing, tending, bringing forth life, bringing forth something new. It's also my Russia card as well. Were there Russians in town this week? I'll have to look into that. Could have been phone calls with the Russians or hiding out from the Russians. But the Empress, this is more about recovery. I think Denise Knight had 2 readings where he had some sort of vascular surgery. And I'm getting here the recovery here in the past, but the 4 of Swords at the top. He's literally at the end. The 4 of Swords, it's the minor arcana passing card. He doesn't go internally. He doesn't do introspection at all. But reminiscing about the warrior of old. The truth is coming. It's charging in. He's so close. I always got after the full moon at the end of June. I know that all bets are off for him. We got the 3 moons in the extended trip and wait deck, followed by the death card. Now, death doesn't necessarily mean death, but it means taken out in some way. So I think the next full moon is the 29th, so in a week's time. The Ace of Coins. Big news coming out about his health. because I'm not reading on wealth at the moment. The Queen of Coins externally at the moment, so keeping it under wraps at the moment. Queens for me are about internally doing something, keep doing something out of sight, whereas the kings are external action. So this is something really big about his health that they're keeping under wraps at the moment. Still got this veil here to a degree, but down for the count. And internally, the Five of Pentacles. His health's gone. It's gone. This isn't about money. This is about his health. Why is he there? Because he's in a really, really, really bad way. They'll fill him full of go-go juice, but the go-go juice is reducing, and how long it lasts for. It was up to an hour before he went to the G7. Now it's down to maximum half an hour. And each time it takes its toll. The Hermit, hopes and fears. This is going into a retreat, out of public sight. But a light is being shone here to expose it. The outcome, the Two of Wands. Oh dear, is that the pearly gates opening there for him? The path forward into the light. Go to the light. Justice, divine justice. The feather weighed against the sword. The heart weighed against the feather. Wow. And then the Magician. The ability to manipulate. This could also be the AI videos that I keep saying are going to happen a lot. He's already doing a lot of pre-recorded and edited interviews. But this manipulation, don't believe what your eyes see. And the Ten of Wands. As it's done. Can't go any further. And then we have the Temperance card. Pouring from cup to create something that's something else that is not, again, very much like the Magician card. Look at the outcome. 1, 2, 3 majors. And then you've got the King of Swords. Sword of Truth, the Sword of Strategy. King of Swords could be legal action. And then you've got the infighting. This truth coming out and the infighting. 8 of Cups. As the cult members walk away. The government. This could also be the 8 of Cups walking away from the tearing down, the infighting, abandonment of the current governance. As I said, there's the Death card, 3 of Cups, the celebration. The could also be circling the wagons. Down for the count, circling the wagons around information coming out of the White House. But 8 of Swords, restricted. The Knight of Cups, the what is being offered is not real, because there's the Tower card. You've then got the King of Cups, the Treason, the Sun card, the Ace of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. There's my 2 of Coins, downward spiral of his health, but it could also be, this is one of my election flipping cards, a High Priestess, secrets being revealed, the Whistleblower, and Judgment. Some sort of announcement coming out for the voters, the 10 of Cups. I've always said it won't be until he goes, the felon goes, that the information about the election steal is fully revealed. I mean, it's been revealed, but you get what I mean. Like, they're going to turn on him. which is really going to take down the entire cabinet and possibly the entire Congress, because how far down the ballot does it go? Okay, so why is he really at Camp David? Because he had to be nurtured back to health, or back to, there was so I suspect Denise might be right, he might have had some sort of minor surgery. I kept getting, when was it, in 2024, vascular, 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 vascular. And then all of a sudden it stopped, like the Three of Swords. The vascular card, it's now my treason card, can also be vascular. And it stopped, and when he went missing for about 10 days. So I suspect he has quite some major surgery then. And they're still trying to keep him upright, but it's just not. There's Biden and the military, King of Cups, and the Chariot with the military removing. Let's let it play. Okay, I want to have a look. Just a quick question. So Shady was sent to Switzerland. Vice President, why is it not Rubio, the Secretary of State, who is the one that logically and technically should be the one doing these negotiations? Well, let's get Shady out of the country. Why? Because they're preparing to stab him in the back with that Ten of Swords. And the Sun card, yeah. Yep, going down. Now, where is it this trip? Show me. I want 3 cards for Shady. So the felon is actively undermining Shady's attempts. And if you're wondering who Shady is, it's the Vice President with the eyeliner. The felon is, orange felon, is actively undermining Shady's, or whoever is there on that, putting out those messages, not necessarily the felon. Anyhow, let's put it this way. Shady is actively being undermined by somebody within the regime to fail at these negotiations. How's it going to turn out for Shady? Let's have a look. How is it going to turn out for Shady? Okay, right. Well, 2 cards are flung out here. What have we got here? Ooh, the Emperor and Fleon. Why would I be getting Fleon? The King of Coins is my Fleon card. Would also be, right, okay, let's see where it, and then we got the Ace of Coins, and then we've got the 4 of Coins, all money, 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 money. How's it going for Shady? The Lovers, the Knight of Coins, again, more coins, and the Lies. The lying with the 7 of Swords. This is about an agreement with no intention of following through with the Knight of Coins. Money, 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 trying to keep it secret with the 4 of Pentacles there. How's it going to go for Shady? Downward spiral with the 2 of Coins, the Knight of Swords, a harsh truth coming for him, and the ending with the World card. I think Shady's been sent there with orders to take pretty much all the money for the regime. Now, I'm just, and there's the infighting on the bottom. I'm just going to put it out there. Whenever I mention about someone like Rubio stepping up into the presidential role or something along those lines, I get this big outcry about, but that's not the secession in the Constitution. This regime is not about to be, is a dictatorship. There is no constitution. They do not follow the constitution. I'm just going to put it out there. I can't be clearer in regards to that. The gift of the plane was supposed to go through Congress. Nope. The war was supposed to go through Congress. Nope. Appointments to positions of power like the DNI and the Director of National Intelligence and who else is acting, all of these actings are supposed to be confirmed by Congress. Nope. There is no constitution at the moment. I hate to tell you, in regards to this regime, there is no constitution. There is also no law when the highest legal body in the land is operated by the felon's personal attorney. There is no, and the Supreme Court, 6 out of the 9, bought and paid for. There is no law when it comes to this regime either. So if I'm saying there's this infighting and between who's going to be top dog, Rubio and Shady, don't want to hear it. I'm just putting it out there. I know the Constitution is incredibly important. I know the law is increasingly important, but they're arresting people in DC for picking up pieces of floating pool liner out of the reflecting pool. That's not law, that's dictatorship. So I'm just putting it out there. So in regards to Shady, so he's been sent there to lay down the law about, he's pretty much been given an assignment that he can't complete. And it's about taking the money for the US. Well, not the US, the dictatorship, those in the cabinet. I mean, you do not send 2 real estate developers, slumlords, to negotiate something like this. The contracts and agreements, mercenary actions, and it's all a lie. So any agreement, this could be the memorandum of understanding, it's gone. We've got here the 2 of coins, trying to juggle the Knight of Swords, a harsh truth, and the World card, the ending. The inability to bring this to completion with the 7 of Pentacles, because he's being undermined by the devil the whole way through, and the 4 of Swords. He's literally been set up by the devil energy. Ben Gerver or whoever is in charge of Is Not Real and the regime, he's Rubio, whoever it is, he is literally being set up with the 4 of Swords to fail. And there you've got the infighting on the bottom, the Temperance card, and the 10 of Swords. Stabbed in the back. He's literally been sent there to fail. So what did I say the other day? That the orange felon is going to fire Shady via Untruth Social, or he's going to find himself fired, and a lot of you went, oh, but he can't fire. That won't stop them. The Constitution has not stopped them yet. The law has not stopped them yet. Sorry if I'm preaching here. I just get frustrated. Open the eyes. Okay, so he's been set up to fail with that 5 of Pentacles out in the cold, and there's going to be some big announcement that will come through. So I want to have a look at Narco, old Narco. Goodness me. So the Nimitz has returned to its naval base at Jacksonville. Bravo! Woohoo! Glad that's happened. And what I'm getting is that there was a change of plan after the Rusky tanker did a delivery, and I think there was some pretty serious armory that was delivered, weaponry that was delivered on the Rusky tanker. I also think there was a gift for Melania there on board as well. But let's have a look. Not at that. I want to have a look at Narco. The Judgment card. Some huge klaxon, siren call to arms type scenario. Double X ending. On the bottom, we've got that Five of Pentacles again and the Page of Pentacles. The one that was sent on a mission is going to find themselves out in the cold. Okay, actually, this is telling me about Narco and Cuba. Judgment, Six of Cups, Ten of Wands. Whatever they were planning, they're unable to bring it to fruition, and I do like that because something in that dynamic has changed. Okay, so I'll put those back randomly, but I want to have a look at Narco with the top job. Narco. Is he angling with Shady out of the country? What's Rubio's move going to be? What's Rubio's move going to be with Shady out of the country? Ship of Fools coming in. Incoming. Watching the return. It's also the Ship of Fools on the Strait of Hormuz, the pie in the sky. So this could be Three of Wands. This could have been sending Shady on a fool's errand and watching it happen, waiting for his own ship to come in. Let's have a look. Keep going. Here's that King of Coins again. Ace of Swords. And the Six of Coins. Again, you've got this taking the opportunity in this position. Remember we had the Emperor and the King of Coins? The decree, but different vibe with the cards. It was the Emperor, the royal decree making an order, sending Shady into this energy. But now we've got Shady overseas, the King of Coins, the Sword of Truth, usually cutting through the crown, but this is new strategy to alter the balance here. Taking the opportunity to alter the balance. The Chariot, movement forward. The Two of Swords, the strategy. And the Wheel of Fortune turning. The Fates turning. What's Narco up to? The veil, looking through the veil. This is not, the decision has been made in regards to the strategy. Movement, aggressive movement. The decision has been made from behind the veil, hidden, and then the Wheel of Fortune turning. The Lovers again, the Knight of Cups, the false offer, the Trojan horse, an agreement, the Trojan horse, and the deception. There's that Seven of Swords. This is the outcome, the deception, the steal. Taking the opportunity. With that Ace of Coins. Similar cards, but different order, which gives them a different meaning. The Knight of Swords. A rash, aggressive move forward. Might backfire on them with the Eight of Swords, and then we've got the World card here. Someone being trapped and everything changing. Ending of a cycle, new beginning. I gather Rute's in Washington on the 24th, so in 2 days' time. We're supposed to be in Washington. Sorry about still going on. Okay, Rubio's going to meet with Rute, is what my guides are letting me know. Rubio's going to meet with Rute, not the felon. On Wednesday. Show me. What's going to transpire in the meeting with Rute? The felon might make a sort of an appearance. Rute being the head of NATO, is he? Is that right? Page of Wands, a messenger, a message being delivered. The strategy coming together, part of the strategy. The Seven of Pentacles is the energy it's stewing in, harvesting something new. In the past, there's the White House itself with the Four of Wands, or an announcement coming from the White House. The Seven of Cups could be delusional, la-la land with the orange felon, or it could be a choice that needs to be made about a path forward with the immediate future. Two of Wands. Shining a light in the dark to try and find a path forward with the Hermit, with the Emperor perhaps being in isolation, because this is internally the Emperor who's really in charge, because the felon is in isolation perhaps. Hopes and fears, a show of strength. And we've got the Knight of Wands, action being taken, treasonous action being taken potentially with the Three of Swords, and then trying to juggle the opportunity, juggle the situation with the Two of Coins, and then stepping up as the King of Wands. Action actually being taken. Volatile message. This could be a vascular episode with the felon as his health spirals down, and Rubio stepping up into the leadership position. And then we've got death, an ending, new beginning. 10 of Coins, ending. The last coin goes in the jar. The Nine of Swords. Six of Cups. King of Coins. Ace of Wands. Five of Coins on the outer. King of Cups, whoever that is. A lot of information coming, explosive information. There's the infighting and within the government. If Shady is still in Switzerland, being undermined on Wednesday, or not there on Wednesday, I get the feeling Rubio, Narco, is going to install himself. Is Rubio going to install himself Is Rubio going to install himself? There's something afoot there. Is Rubio going to install himself as president? Let's have a look. Let's just say it as it is. Is Rubio going to attempt to make overtures to install himself as president? But it's just he's acting in that way. Is Rubio going to attempt to install himself as president while Shady is out of the country? Six of Cups. And I'm just looking at what's on the bottom. Treason, vascular event. Queen of Coins. There's the challenge, the internal, Homeland Security perhaps. The internal opportunity, taking an opportunity internally because he's the one that's in the country. Now I know it's supposed to go Shady, then Johnson, then Thune and whatever it was, but we're talking about a regime that does not follow the Constitution and does not follow the law. It's like this is a wish. This is almost like an intention. And you've the opportunity here internally is the challenge. Somebody's going to find themselves cast adrift with that Five of Coins and the Sun card in the past. Absolutely. Biggest yes card in the deck in the past. Past being today, because we're talking about Wednesday. The Wheel of Fortune turning, the fates turning. Claiming a victory. A false victory, but claiming a victory. The Ace of Swords, cutting through the crown, a strategy coming to pass. Nine of Cups internally, be careful what you wish for, but again, wish fulfillment, gloating at achievements with that Nine of Cups. The Judgment card in the hopes and fears. A klaxon siren wake up call, but it's also about an inevitability about something coming to pass, the outcome, the harvesting, the opportunity, the Knight of Swords, the rash actions, and the government with the White House with the Four of Wands, an announcement coming from the White House. I think and the Ace of Wands, I think he's going to. And the Lovers card, those that back him up, and Seven of Cups, delusional about it. But there's the Knight of Cups, the false, the Trojan horse, the falsehood, trying to hang on with that Four of Pentacles, but there's going to be a lot coming at him. As I said, there's treason there on the bottom. Now, it may not be announced straight away, but honestly, I think that's his intention. Whether he's able to pull it off, completely other matter. But I think that's his intention. And the felon deliberately undermining Shady, never liked him, didn't want him as VP, was forced upon him due to the financial offerings. Like this guy, he can be bought and sold so easily. So yeah, I'm going to say there is a very good chance while Shady is out of the country, he might get a "you're fired" message. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Things are really, really ramping up. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Catch you shortly.